friends, welcome back to Crime Adjacent, the #1 true crime podcast in the world, thanks to you. I'm glad you're here. Here's where things stand. A break-in to Claire's cabin on Thursday morning. Another one at Aubrey's cabin on Friday morning. Then, on early Saturday, September 28th, 2024, I swear to God, there was another one. This time, at the cabin of Aitana Ruiz, yet another celebrity who had come to Walloon Lake for a brief getaway, only to find herself thrust into the middle of the most bizarre case I have covered in 8 seasons of Crime Adjacent. Ruiz told the same story as all the others. She was peacefully dreaming away, alone in her cabin just off Indian Garden Road, when she felt something. Something was touching her foot. But not just touching, rubbing. She woke up, saw a man in a long tan coat and a clown mask at the foot of her bed, and he was rubbing her feet, sliding his hands upwards toward her ankles and calves. This is where things turn drastically different from the other cases. When Ruiz screamed, like who wouldn't, this man didn't run away. Instead, he simply stopped rubbing, calmly reached for a length of rope on the bed, and snapped it between his hands. According to Ruiz, the man said, "And now, the fun begins." Here's the story. But first, if these stories stick with you, or if you have that one friend in your life who loves thrillers or true crime, write a 1-sentence review to let people know why you like it and why they should join us. The more the merrier. It keeps the show running. From San Francisco, this is Crime Adjacent, the never-ending true crime thriller told weekly. I'm Chase Patrick. Did you catch that name, by the way? Aitana Ruiz? You're not hearing things. Yes, this is the same Aitana Ruiz who is the author of the dark romantasy series Daggers and Wind, which I only recommend if you have a spare 5 weeks to hunker down and become dead to the world, because you won't be able to put these books down. Ruiz lives downstate in Ypsilanti, the town just south of Ann Arbor, where the University of Michigan is located. Ruiz arrived on Walloon that Friday at 4 p.m. This has become an annual trip. She books the same cabin, turns her phone off, and puts the finishing touches on her latest novel. She was up there working on book 6 in the series. In an interview later, she said, "I write dark, edgy, sort of racy romance fantasy books, but even I couldn't have imagined what happened. This is some dark shit." No one knew it at the time, but it would get even darker that very day, Saturday, when the clown moved off the lake and headed to downtown Petoskey, where his break-ins turned to murder. But the thing is, and this is something Ruiz can't shake, she knows she was the first on his list that day. So Friday night, when she arrives, this is September 27th, 2024, at about the same time Sheriff Press and Swanson and I are meeting with Jimmy Ball and his parents downtown. Aitana Ruiz is settling into her small cabin at the same time. It's on the lake, sort of where both arms collide, and it's back away from the water. It has a view, but you have to sort of crane your neck around the trees. "It's why I picked it," Ruiz told me. "No distractions. I can just sit in the office, pour myself a gallon of coffee, and write." So Ruiz arrived at 4 p.m. that day, Friday. She unpacked, made a pot of coffee, and then pretty much got right to it. This is her time, her weekend. Her husband down in Ypsilanti has the kids, and Ruiz just completely unplugs and gets to work. There's no agent emails, no publisher calls, no demands for snacks or those minor emergencies that take you out of the writing routine. This is it. This is how she turns out bestseller after bestseller. "It's not very glamorous," she told me, "like brunch meetings in New York or galas and movie premieres in Los Angeles. This is me with coffee and crackers and canned tuna just sitting on my ass for 3 solid days. I love it. And the end product is Daggers and Wind. You'll love it, I promise." Ruiz said after her arrival, it was all routine. She just wrote. She didn't even get up to go outside, not once. She wrote until 11 p.m. and then went to bed when she couldn't see straight. The rest of the night was different. It was about 3 a.m. when she first heard something. This is a small one-bedroom, one-bath cabin. It has a kitchen, a very cramped living room with a couch and a chair, and then this tiny nook area that served as a makeshift office for her. Her bedroom was just a door off the living room. Over the years, she has grown accustomed to loons and raccoons and even an occasional black bear making noise outside. It happened. She was tired and thought there might be a squirrel on the porch, and so she heard it at 3 a.m., looked at her watch, and then waited for more noise and eventually just drifted off to sleep again. At 5:30 a.m., she heard it again, like a shuffle. It didn't sound like a squirrel. Ruiz said, "I actually popped up in bed, like looking around, but it was early still. I was tired. I didn't hear anything else, and I just laid back down." She remembers it was 5:30 a.m. because she looked at her watch again, but she must have drifted off immediately because she didn't hear anything else or feel anything else until 5:45 a.m. Now, in these 15 minutes, the man in her house, it became clear later there was a man in her house all along, that he was responsible for all this noise. He had crept to the foot of her bed, and she didn't hear a thing. She didn't hear or sense him remove all the covers. She didn't sense him breathing over her. But then, he touched her foot, and she immediately popped up again. "It was definitely the clown man," she said later. "It was still dark, but I could tell he was wearing a mask. I screamed immediately, like guttural, feral. And the man, he just stood there. He didn't move at all." Ruiz said the clown merely reached down to the bed, grabbed a piece of rope while she was screaming, and pulled it between his hands. He snapped it, and then he said, "And now, the fun begins." I mean, honestly, what do you do in this situation? Ruiz said she immediately thought of one of her characters, Lily, a fan favorite. She was the first thing that came to mind. I couldn't help it. I mean, Lily came from me. She was inside me somewhere, I guess, if I could create her. But it was what flashed in my mind. I thought, what would Lily do? And so Ruiz basically lunged at the clown man, grabbed his chest with both hands and slammed him into the wall behind. Then she punched him in the gut and kneed him down below, all the while just feral screaming, guttural. I love the Red Handed True Crime podcast. It's one of my favorites. And they were doing a story about Ruby Franke and what she did to her own children. And they unearthed these age-old debates in true crime podcasting. Do we call these people monsters? Because they're not really monsters. They're just horrible people. And calling them monsters might take away their humanity and that reminder of what people, our neighbors, might truly be capable of. I thought about that here when Ruiz was recounting her story. This clown guy took on the form of a monster in a way, donning this grotesque Halloween mask clearly to freak people out, to scare them, to make them think some hideous monster is in their bedroom. But really, in the end, he was just some tall, lanky, sort of weak dude who got his clock cleaned by a rugby player the night before and then by a romantasy author this day who just pummeled him half to death. In our interview, Ruiz said her adrenaline took over. She saw the rope and thought of her kids and her husband and her life, and she got pissed. "I got angry," she said, just like Lily would have, like, "Fuck you, how dare you?" Somehow, amidst this battery of fists and screaming, the clown managed to escape, and Ruiz followed him outside. And this is important. She watched him run off into the woods, in the direction of the lake. She is sure of it, no doubt. The front door is on the road side of the house, and the back door is on the lake side. The clown exited through this back door, a sliding glass door, and she watched him run to the lake. Remember, the view to the water is not great. maybe 50 or 60 yards of shoreline, lots of elms, the clown disappeared, and she didn't follow. She went back inside, locked the door, and called police. But not before she heard something else. A car. An engine turned over. The tires started crunching on gravel right away. And all of this is on the front side, the roadside. It all happened in seconds. The clown runs to the water in one direction, and the car, in the other direction, turns on and drives away fast. She could hear it. She couldn't see it, and she's pretty sure it drove down Indian Garden Road towards downtown. In her 911 call, which was made at 5:56 a.m. according to sheriff's call logs, Ruiz tells what happens and then mentions this car. She says it came from the cabin next door. The transcript is hard to follow. She was coming down from an adrenaline rush, but she said the car was from the house next door and it might be connected.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
And so Sheriff Press and Deputy Swanson investigated. And it turns out that the cabin next door is owned by a man named Harold Loomis. Loomis is 30. He inherited the cabin from his parents. He worked as a snowmobile and motorcycle mechanic downstate in Ypsilanti, where Ruiz is from, and had been living in the cabin on Walloon since late August when he inherited the cabin. Loomis is white, age 30, single, not unemployed per se, but also in that limbo season between summer and when people want to have their snowmobiles checked out for the winter. He's also tall, very tall, like 6'4", sort of skinny, lanky, you could say. He knew the area very well. His family had been coming to Walloon from Ypsi for years, since he was a child. He spent summers here, months and months at a time, and then ice fishing with his dad when the lakes froze over in the winter. And his parents just died in early August. His mom shot his father and then turned the gun on herself. The details about why are not important to this case, and I don't need to trouble Loomis any more here than mentioning this in connection to this case, which all happens because of the car sound, which was the first solid noise any witness had ever heard. They assumed the clown creeper had come on foot and left on foot, disappearing into the dense surrounding woods. This was the first sign ever of the clown creeper coming by car. And so Press and Swanson, they checked it out, and they really went to town on Loomis. He was home, had no alibi, left his house just before 6 a.m. that morning at the exact same time as the clown. Tall, lanky, single, sort of unemployed with nothing to do at the time, knew the area very well. Press said, "Oh, we were definitely thinking, this is our guy. It has to be. Everything fit." And then you add this to everything. He was also caught on video, leaving Ruiz's cabin. At least, it appears that way. Unlike the other cabins, Ruiz's had a Ring video camera on the front door. I'm not talking about spy nanny cams like the ones Jimmy set up. I'm talking about an actual Ring camera. A working one. Like Claire's cabin, this cabin was owned by Ebony Astor, and she made sure to rewire every single one of her properties with working cameras immediately after the break-ins began. On Thursday, the Ring camera went up. By Saturday morning, it captured neighbor Harold Loomis running away from Ruiz's cabin. You can see him on screen. He's near the front door, appearing as if he's looking inside, and then, suddenly, he bolts. Although the camera loses him eventually, he's clearly running to his own property. Then his car starts, and it takes off. You can see an older model white Honda Civic hightail it down the road. So the first thing Press did that morning was track down Loomis. This interview, it's wild. Yes, he was home in the early morning at the time of the break-in. No, he did not creep into his neighbor's cabin, let alone rub her feet. Yes, he admitted, he lived in the same neighborhood as Ruiz, down in Ypsi. But no, he didn't know that until Press told him. It was a coincidence. Yes, he had one restraining order filed against him by a former girlfriend. No, he was never violent. But yes, he broke into her home, watched her sleep, took some of her clothes as a reminder. Press said during the interview that she kept thinking, this is it. This case is closed. She has found the clown creeper. Loomis, for his part, maintained his innocence. Yes, he was home at the time, but only because he had a great alibi. He was meeting a buddy in downtown to go for a run. The buddy was always trying to get Loomis to join him, and lo and behold, this was the morning. Loomis said sure, why not? He was bored, and he hoped his buddy might take him back home for breakfast. It sounded like BS, like he made it up on the fly, a cover story. But Press, she checked it out. And the story checked out. The buddy said he waited and waited and waited, and then here comes Loomis in his Honda speeding. Loomis told him the whole story that morning. It's possible, I guess, that Loomis made all of this up and told the friend to cover for him. But Press knew this friend, personally. He was actually known for running around town every morning, no matter the season, and he was a good guy. Press believed him. Still, Press asked to search Loomis's cabin, and he said yes. She immediately went to his closet. It was basically empty. No tan coat, no ropes of any kind, no mask. She checked everywhere. Press asked Loomis what he was doing right outside Ruiz's cabin that morning. Loomis said this. He was up early, getting ready to go downtown to meet his buddy, when he thought he heard something. Maybe it was a scream. Maybe it was a coyote. Maybe it was a loon. He didn't know. It sounded strange. He went outside to check. This was probably at the same time the creeper was inside, with Ruiz. The camera actually shows Loomis at 5:50-ish walking to the front door as if inspecting something. He never heard the scream again. But then the rear door flies open and a man, or at least he thinks it's a man, disappeared into the woods down towards the lake. Then Ruiz pops out of the house, yelling. Loomis said, I was spooked. I thought it was like a lover's tiff or something. She yelled, fuck you, or something like that, and the guy ran off, and then Ruiz just sort of looked around, like she was pissed, not hurt. So I bolted. I don't know why. This was a weird moment for Sheriff Press. There was no evidence Loomis was in the cabin. The camera showed him in the front, not the back. The camera showed him leaving, and then his car leaving soon after. Then again, his description fit the creeper to a T. It was uncanny. He had access, time, a history of literally breaking into homes. He sounded exactly like Swanson's early profile. But again, no hard evidence. To Press and Swanson, it just didn't feel right the more they looked into it. Besides, Loomis was cooperative and never confessed, which, with no evidence, was their only chance to hold him. And then there was this. Loomis appeared unscathed. No black eye from Ertz. No aches or pains or bruises from the pummeling Ruiz gave the clown creeper that morning. Loomis looked fine. I spoke to Loomis later after the whole case ended. It turns out, this was just incredibly, almost comically bad timing and bad luck. Loomis said, the one freaking time in all these years I decided to go running with my buddy, to start a new routine and sort of get my life back together after my parents, you know? And then this happens. Can you believe it? It sounded far-fetched, honestly. But, to be clear, Loomis was completely innocent of everything. His name was dragged through the mud enough in town that he sold the cabin with the help of Ebony and opened his own repair shop down in Ypsi. He said he's turned his life around for good now and hopes that no one will ever again tie him to this case now that the whole truth is known. So then, okay, it wasn't Loomis. So, Who was it? At this point, early Saturday, no one knew. Although press could still not locate Meeks, her main suspect, she also couldn't pin this on anyone else. And honestly, the only thing connecting Meeks to this was a profile and a tan coat. Expensive, yes, but is that enough? Press and Swanson immediately searched the surrounding area. There was no sign of anyone, at all. No other neighbors reported hearing anything. No boats on the water at all, not even early morning anglers. Ruiz said the man ran off towards the water or the woods, she couldn't be sure, and then he simply vanished. Now, this place is interesting, her cabin off Indian Garden Road. It's at a little peninsula area where the two arms of the lake collide, and it's on the other side of the lake altogether from Bear River Country Club. If you're walking, like in the woods, you have to either swim across the lake to get home, if you're Meeks, or more or less have to follow the roadway, and that's like a winding 20-mile trip. There's no bridges over the water anywhere. I stood with Swanson at the shoreline, just outside Ruiz's cabin. Swanson said, he's either staying in a different cabin, or he had a way to get across the water, but no one heard or saw a boat. Swanson said it's entirely possible he broke into a cabin of someone who came for the summer, but then left for the winter. The whole lake is riddled with cabins and houses just like that. It's like a needle in a haystack thing, Swanson said, looking across the lake at an endless line of lakeshore cabins. He could quite literally be anywhere. Swanson changed the subject. You know, she said, you're not that far from the Hemingway cabin. That's why you're here, right? Go see it? Go home? I thought about checking it out. She said it was less than a mile from where we were. It's no longer some wooden log cabin type place, but a nice fancy house and a national registry. I thought about going, but I knew the moment I saw it, I might actually start thinking of leaving. Part of me did, in fact, want to go visit and get out of town and then hop on the first flight to New York where we had a show coming up, where Claire was probably back at the grindstone, looking for her next big deal. But part of me also wanted to figure this out, to see if I might help out in some way. Between the clown creeper and Jimmy and Bill, there just seemed like there were so many loose ends to tie up. Nikki and I got into this business to help solve crimes, not run from them. And this clown guy needed stopping right away. Between the murder of Yuki and Travers, and then the ropes left behind at Aubrey's cabin, and then what happened here this morning with Ruiz, it was clear that the clown was escalating. That morning, we had no idea how quickly, how soon things would turn deadly, not just far away in Travers, but here in Petoskey, that very afternoon. Next time on Crime Adjacent. Sheriff Press called a community meeting downtown at 1 p.m. on Saturday, September 28th, 2024. They had to warn people, she said. It was well past time. Ebony Astor, the realtor, begged Press to keep it low-key, to let people know, yes, but not to totally freak them out. Her livelihood depended on short-term visitors like Claire or Ertz or Ruiz. Roger Michaels, the billionaire podcaster finance bro, had a different take. He was already warning people online and on his podcast. Stay away from Walloon Lake if you know what's good for you. There's a potential serial killer afoot. By the time the meeting started, the downtown City Hall Council chamber was packed with townsfolk. It was as if everyone in town attended, except for Allison Barnes, a realtor. This Saturday marked her first big break. Like Ebony, she worked for the local realty office and finally nabbed her first home to sell. And it was big. The house, yes, but the deal. This was her chance. She had her first open house showing that afternoon, and she wasn't going to blow it. Nothing could stop her from selling this place in the first weekend and really making a name for herself in town. Then her last visitor of the day arrived. Join the fun over at our Patreon page, patreon.com/crimeadjacent, where we get together with live sessions each week and meet up for the True Crime College each month. You don't want to miss it. I hope to see you there. From San Francisco, this is Chase Patrick with a reminder. It's not crime. It's crime adjacent.